Good morning, Raptor freaks. Alexios here. It's Saturday morning, and the Raptors are playing the Atlanta Hawks tonight. They're in Atlanta. At least half of them are. That's going to be the really big story about today. Last year when we used to preview games, sometimes I would call the other team like Golden State Warriors Team B or Golden State Warriors Team C or D because, the Warriors came to Toronto last year in the schedule. They sent like a D level team from their team. They didn't send Steph. There was no Draymond. There was no Clay. There was no big names. It was basically Jordan Poole and a bunch of their bench. And I've been using that designation in the last year on this channel for when teams are facing each other and it's not exactly the full strength team to indicate injury. Well, in some ways, I could do this for the Raptors right now, but I don't feel it's necessary. In fact, I don't think that me saying that we're sending Raptors B team to the Atlanta Hawks is fair because even with 9 guys not available for tonight, I don't call this a B team for the Raptors. This is a good team. One of the things I did back in the day was make Subway at Subway as a Subway sandwich artist. Yes, I have a linkage to Scott Wayne Barnes that we have both been employed by Subway. Well, back in the day, one of the things I used to do, working the strip on Tennessee Street in Tallahassee after Florida State nights out on a Friday or Saturday night, working that Subway sandwich at like 2 a.m. when the bars get out, you got to make subs for the drunks. And the hardest thing about getting a sub order out of a drunk person is them telling you every single thing they don't want on the order. Because you're standing on the other side and you're ready to make the sandwich. And it's like, why don't you tell me what you do want on the sandwich until they tell me no onions, no lettuce, no tomato, no mayo, no mustard, you naming everything you don't want on the sandwich. I could start making it if you give me something that you like on the sandwich. So let's take this approach tonight with our injury list. Let's talk about who's available. And maybe we won't even talk about who's not available because we all know who's not available for the most part. So let's speculate about the starting lineup tonight. For available for our team tonight, Fred VanVleet, Scotty Barnes, guards, forwards, OG Anunoby, Thad Young. Yes, center, Christian Coloco. There's a starting five right there. And this is probably likely to be our starting five tonight because a lot of these dudes that are on the injury list, they aren't even in Atlanta. There's none of them going to even be around there. So that's starting five of Fred, Scotty, OG, Thad, and Christian. I think it will be Christian just because he's a great matchup against Clint Capella. And he had some good success against them when we played them on Halloween. So I think that would be the smartest starting lineup for Nick. Now, off the bench, we do have 5 players. We have Malachi Flynn, Jeff Doughton Jr., Justin Shimpenny, Juancho Hernangomez, and Kem Birch. So that's basically our team tonight going in against Atlanta. Now, Atlanta's an interesting team. They have a better record than us right now. They are not as good on the road as they are at home. So the game in Toronto where we blew them out it's a good indicator of some things about this matchup, but in some ways it isn't. The one thing that I found out researching the Atlanta Hawks last night is that they win games when they outshoot the other team. When they shoot a higher field goal percentage, they make more threes, and they do better at the free throw line, they win the games. And while they have 2 wins over the Milwaukee Bucks so far this season. Now, that is really impressive, honestly, because Milwaukee is very difficult to beat this year, and Atlanta has managed to beat them 2 out of 3 times when they played them this year. So that's pretty impressive to me. So there's something about this Atlanta team that is very dangerous. And we didn't see it on Halloween. So I'm wondering, what is it going to be tonight? Are we going to be able to come in there and replicate what we did on Halloween with a different staff as far as who's available? I don't know. Now, all right, I will go over exactly what's going on with these guys. Because I'm going to tell you what, yesterday we found out Chris Boucher did not make the trip. He has been added to the injury list. And the reason why is because he's sick. That the illness that Fred had last week that he got over and was able to return the last game is now inside of Chris, and not only Chris, Gary Trent Jr. Gary can't catch a break. Every time we see him on the injury report this week, it's been a different thing that's keeping him out. Earlier this week, it said shin. Then it said on Wednesday, it said hip. And now it's saying non COVID illness. Now, apparently, Gary has a hurt shin. That is the correct injury. And he does have a sickness also at the same time. So he's dealing with both of them to miss the game tonight. Now, the other guys, listen, all right, let's get an update on Delano Banton right now because we did get an update on him. After the game the other day when Delano got hurt, Nick Nurse said it sounded really, really bad about what happened to Delano, but apparently he wants to walk that back. No structural damage, nothing's broken, and this is a normal ankle sprain, and it's not as bad as we think, but he is not ready to come back for today's game. And he was also seen much like Precious walking in a walking boot. So we've got two guys in a walking boot, Precious and Delano. And then we got two guys that have non-COVID related illnesses. And then we've got Pascal with his abductor. Now the news on Pascal is very good. He has returned to on-court activities as far as practice. So he is getting out there and shooting and starting to get going. And that it's still where they're going to wait a week and reassess him a week from now, next Friday, and then they'll decide then. It could be that he's ready by next weekend for the Dallas game next Saturday. So let's hope for that. Let's aim for Pascal, hopefully to be back for the game a week from today. And that is very, very possible. It is so lucky that this week that we're on right now, we have the game tonight and then we have a game on Wednesday, and that is it. We don't play anything else until that Saturday against Dallas. So we have tonight, Wednesday against Brooklyn, and then Dallas in Toronto on Saturday afternoon. It is an afternoon game next Saturday, just so y'all know. It's not a game in the evening. It's going to be a game at 2 or 3 in the afternoon next Saturday against Dallas. So let me just check in with you guys. Good morning, Nameless. Good morning, ladies and gentle freaks. The best kind of freak is a gentle freak. Bam. All right, let's see. Andrew Bishop's here. Good morning, freaks. Good morning. Who said the freaks come out at night? The freaks come out in the morning. That's the new thing it is now. Freaks come out at night. Callie's here. Good morning. Let's see who steps up for the team. Yes, I love this. I think Scotty could step up for the team tonight. We hope OG continues his amazing, amazing play of recent. He had a very funny interview yesterday at practice. Very much interesting things they talked about. He talked about his weight for a little while. They came at him and said, you were posted as 250 pounds back in the day. And he was like, what? No, you got really, wait, no, I'm not 250 pounds, as we said. He said, in fact, I'm not 240 pounds. Well, he's listed at 232 right now. When they asked him, well, what is your weight at now? He said, that's none of y'all's business. OG, you're an athlete in the NBA. Your weights in the NBA are all posted publicly all the time. So acting like this with your weight is a little silly. Let's just put it that way. But he's awesome, man. He's so good. That interview yesterday, there's something else he said in it that was really good, and I'm just forgetting. Maybe y'all will remind me. Isaac Campbell saying, have a great day, y'all. Thank you, Isaac. And once again, thank you for sending that package and the jersey and the flag. So awesome of you, Isaac Campbell. Big W's for Isaac Campbell. Every day for the benevolent Isaac Campbell. We appreciate you so much. So, yeah, all right. So the injury list we kind of talked about for the Raptors. There's a lot of dudes missing. Gary, Pascal, Delano. Otto is missing also. Otto, actually, he's the one who's in the foot thing, too. He's got an air cast on his foot, too. Lots of that kind of stuff going on for the Raptors. On the other side for Atlanta, there's only one injury listed, and that's Bogdanovic. We did not have to see him last time. And honestly, this is good because in some ways he's their best shooter off their bench and their sixth man and their best player. So we're really going to see that little backcourt of Trae Young and DeJounte Murray, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, Clint Capella. Then they got the Holiday brothers off the bench, Okongwu, AJ Griffin, Jaylen Johnson, Frank Kaminsky. That's their team, basically. You know, they're They're weird, honestly. I don't know if I like this Atlanta Hawks team as much as I liked it with Kevin Herter. That is a really big difference. Like since DeJounte's there, now Kevin Herter's gone, and I think in some ways Kevin Herter gave them more in some ways that they need for to be a really good playoff team. We're seeing Kevin Herter killing it for Sacramento Kings now, over there with that new upstart Kings squad that's doing some interesting things recently. So yeah, that's somebody that I didn't totally agree with them losing. That it was very attractive to get DeJounte onto your team, but I think that in some ways the Hawks really miss Kevin Herter. And that was, it's a similar thing to like Cleveland and how they're feeling about Lauri Markkanen right now. Like that is maybe somebody you should have held on to. Lauri Markkanen is killing it. And once again, this is an important thing to look at with these big moves this summer. Whether it's Gobert going to Minnesota, well, what's happened with that in Minnesota? They've clogged up the lanes and they've hurt the development of Anthony Edwards at this point. That he says he wants to be Spider-Man and do the little web slinging between the tall towers that are on his team at this point. But he can't get any daylight, any breathing room to get into the lane and do his fantastic stuff that he's done in his career already the first 2 years. He can't do it with the big guys down there. They're clogging it up. There's not enough room. So in some ways, getting Gobert on the Timberwolves has stymied and hurt the growth of Anthony Edwards. Well, it isn't always fuzzy and warm and great, the results you get from big blockbusters trades. That's what I'm going to say. Oh, yeah. Now, Cleveland's is looking like it's doing pretty good. As far as Donovan, they like to say, oh, he's a seamless fit. Okay. You guys want it to be that. We'll see how it goes more and more throughout the season. Now, as far as Atlanta getting DeJounte, well, we know that makes their backcourt little babies. And those little babies, we like to bully. So that is a key to the victory tonight. We need to do what we did on Monday night of Halloween against the Hawks here in Toronto. Sure. If we can get up and down the court and run them off the court fast break style like we did that night, I'm all for it. But in some ways, we may need to slow it down and maybe come at them with bully ball. Bully ball may be very good for us to do with Scotty and OG. Just bully them. So it's going to be a good matchup tonight. It's going to be a little more even. It's not going to be a blowout like it was on Halloween because their home court is definitely a factor for them winning, having a better winning percentage. And, we did really stymie DeJounte and Trae Young the first time we played them this year. So it is important for us to replicate that, do that again, stop them, and maybe they'll have like 4 or 6 points at halftime, very much like they did in Toronto when we played the Hawks. So there's some things we can take from that game on Halloween and hopefully duplicate, do them all over again tonight. Now, there's a couple interesting things about this game tonight. One of them is we beat Atlanta tonight. We've won the season series. We only play them 3 times this year. So if we can beat them tonight, we win the season series. So there's some gumption right there for the Raptors. Nick Nurse can say, y'all beat them, then we win the season series. And that means we could lose the 3rd game against them, and we'll still have higher seeding preference if we do tie them at the end of the year. So that's very important to me personally because I care about where we get in the playoffs and where we are with seeding. And so I look at that kind of stuff. Now, another cool thing about winning tonight, if we do, I hope we do, is we're going to jump big time in the standings. If we win the game tonight, we will jump from 6th place in the East all the way up to 3rd place in the East, right behind Milwaukee and Boston. So if we want to put a carrot in front of this mule to win tonight, those are 2 good ones right there. Let's win the series against Atlanta, and let's get from 6th seed up to the 3rd seed in the East, because we will get that record-wise if we do that, because there's 3 teams right above us that are very statistically just percentage points ahead of us in the standings. That if we win tonight, we will put Atlanta below us, and we will put, I believe it's Indiana is right now technically above us, which is silly. Indiana is above us right now. It's crazy. I can't believe that either. And I think the other one is Philly, or not Philly. It's somebody else right around there. So there's a couple of reasons to win the game tonight. Win the series against Atlanta and get in the 3rd spot in the Eastern Conference. because we will get that. Yeah, it's Isaac saying, sorry, I missed that. That one, that was great. Awesome. Well, I'm just glad you got to watch it later. It's cool. It's like everybody has life and things to do. I don't expect everybody to catch every single one of my streams, but if you want to watch them later, they're there for you. And that's why we have it this way on this channel. But yeah, Isaac, that was awesome. And we were so Wing you yesterday. So many W's in the stream for Isaac Campbell. Much deservedly so. You are such a generous person, and thank you. That jersey is going to go to the winner of our fantasy league, and that's an awesome prize. Such an awesome prize. Jimmy Pope saying, "Sup guys? Hope everyone's having a good morning with a cup of coffee." Yes, thank you, Jimmy Pope. You know what? My day will be great if we can beat the Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta tonight. And the game's at 6, y'all. It's a little bit of an earlier start. So be ready and be aware of that the game will be starting at 6 o'clock and not at 7 tonight, just so y'all know. CC saying at Isaac Campbell, W awesome. So generous of you. Yes, let's celebrate the great badass benevolence of Isaac Campbell every single day, y'all. Tom Duke saying, good morning. Let's go, Raps. Yes, Tom Duke. Let's go, Raptors. 2023 NBA champion Toronto Raptors. That's what we are talking about and manifesting on this Raptor Freak channel. That's right. Monique is here. Good to see Raptors super fan Monique Lawrence. Good morning. Stay locked in. Let's go Raptors. That's right. Sometimes when you show up with just a skeleton crew of your roster, sometimes it's like you feel like you got your back to the wall, or you're just like, man, we're going to get to play. And that's what Nick said. Everybody who gets to Atlanta tonight is going to get to play because he's going to need everybody available with so many guys missing. We are missing 9 guys or something like that, eight guys. We're missing 8 guys, and we got 10 guys dressed. Well, there you go. And I hope Justin is dressed tonight. That would be really good for him to make an appearance and show up when everybody else is hurt because he can actually get to play. And in some ways, it's a shame he's hurt so often because these opportunities for him where we need him to come in and play, he's missed because he's been hurt at times. So if he's stressed and he's playing tonight, I'll be very happy about this for him because he'll get chances to prove himself and do good things for us tonight. You know, in some ways last year, Justin got kind of guilty by association with the rest of the bench last year as being, part of the people who just aren't consistent. Well, you can differentiate yourself from that group last year, this year, Justin. So get on the right foot and get out there and do good things for us and help us win this game tonight, Champagne. How about that, baby? Yeah. Cool Cat's here. Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. I have a good feeling that Fred, OG, Scotty will be great. You know, listen, there are some things in our favor, and one of them is the ref crew tonight. Yeah, guys, I looked at the ref crew, and all 3 referees statistically favor the Raptors historically, and I'll go through that. Let's do this right now. The head referee tonight is Ben Taylor. Ben Taylor is one of our favorite refs. He's on our favorite list from the referee report that I did this summer in the Sunday report. Ben Taylor is one of our favorite refs. We love Ben Taylor. He is from Orlando, Florida. He likes to show The West Wing, and The Field of Dreams is his favorite movie. He listens to Brian McKnight. His hidden talent is he's a good dancer, y'all. And his favorite meal, this is what we want to serve him up, is some cheeseburger and tater tots. So this man is ready to go to Sonic. Just drive him right up and let him park in the parking lot at Sonic and get him a cheeseburger and some tater tots. This dude doesn't need a high-priced meal like a steak or something crazy like John Goble needs. This guy just wants you to take him out to Sonic and just pull right up. Y'all may not know what Sonic is up here. Have y'all traveled down the States? You know Sonic? Sonic's like a classic drive-in fast food restaurant. You pull up and you press a button and you speak into the speaker, and it's like you're on Happy Days all of a sudden again. Or American Graffiti. They used to have roller skates. They'd roller skate out and they'd be like, here's your food, and put it on a tray in your window. And then you'd eat. Well, that's where Ben Taylor could go to tonight because Sonic is all that kind of stuff. Why am I doing a Sonic commercial? Anyway, Ben Taylor is 68.8% winning percentage for the Raptors. We win 69% of the time when Ben Taylor's around, and he is a 12-year vet. This is not a newer vet. So he's one of the highest percentage winning senior vet refs for us. So we love Ben Taylor. I'm gonna tell you right now, if their last name is Taylor, we like them. If they're a referee, the record for the Hawks in this situation is 48.3%. So that's at like 20% higher win percentage for us with Ben Taylor out there compared to the Hawks. So, woo-hoo-hoo, that is a great crew chief for us. And the second crew chief, if the name is Sean, that's a good person to have too. His name is Sean Corbin. He is from Florida, also another Florida ref. His favorite show is CSI Miami, and he likes the Godfather series. He listens to Brian Culbertson, and he would like some steak and lobster. His hidden talent is cooking. So yeah, all right. So a little bit more expensive taste for Sean Corbin. He is a 20. He's very much an older ref. He is like a 29-year ref, guys. He's been around forever, and still we have an amazing win percentage for him. He is not like Tony Brothers. He is not like Ed Malloy. We have a 54.2 win percentage when Sean Corbin is refereeing over his 28 years in the NBA. And that's fantastic, y'all. That is actually really good for that long in the league. Only Leon Wood has a better one, and Bill Kennedy for a 25 plus year of refs. So we like Sean Corbin. And for the Hawks, they win about 48.8%. So both the referees so far, the Hawks are winning at 48%, and we're winning at like 50 and 69% with them. So I like this a lot. 54% for Sean Corbin versus 49% for the Hawks for Sean Corbin. All right, and our third ref is Lauren Holtkamp Sterling, the wife of Jonathan Sterling. I should say Jonathan Sterling is her husband. That is what's up. Her favorite TV show is Black Mirror. She likes Florence and the Machine. Her hidden talent is creating ceramics. So she makes ceramics. She most like to visit Greece, and her favorite meal is breakfast. Okay, she might have misunderstood the question a little bit, like Michael Smith. Yeah, but what do you want? Breakfast. All right, well, if I bring you bacon and eggs and toast, is that good? Yeah, that's all I want. Breakfast. All right, okay, we can bring you breakfast. So we got somebody who wants cheeseburger and tater tots. We got steak and lobster. And then we got somebody who wants breakfast food. So there's the menu for the referees tonight. Lauren Holtkamp Sterling, her record with us is very high also. We win 68.2% of the time when she has a presence in the court as a referee. She's in her 10th year as a ref. And the Hawks win 54.2%. So all three of the refs and the ref crew favor the Raptors historically, statistically. I am all about that. So, like I said, if you see Taylor as the last name for a referee, that's a good ref for the Raps. If you see the first name Sean, that's a good ref for the Raps. And then if you see that the referee is married to one of the other refs, sometimes that's a good one. If it's a wife in the relationship, yeah, that's a good ref. So this is a good ref. Good ref crew all around. Now, I'll say this, and they'll go and screw us tonight. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. I think if they call it on the up and up, everything will be fine. You know, they're in Atlanta, which is the hub of TNT. So they have all their studios there. And if you guys noticed, Fred VanVleet made a TV appearance last night after they flew in to Atlanta yesterday afternoon. He got invited to the NBA TV studios, and he was on set with Brendan Hayward talking about the Raptors' chances for this year. And I love how they come at the Raptors in these interviews like they're all sus. And they're like, oh, what makes you think that the Raptors can do things in the playoffs this year? And Fred just calmly explains it to them. Well, we played very well last year. We did a good job in the playoffs. And if there wasn't injuries, we would have done better against Philadelphia. And I feel real good about us. And he said also, I don't think anybody wants to play us in the first round or the second round. If I was on the other teams, I wouldn't want to play us, is basically what Fred said. And I love you, Fred. And you go in there and represent us and speak the Project Truth that Logical Raptors Fanatic is pushing. Well, Fred was putting that on them on NBA TV last night in Atlanta. And that's so cool. They invited him to come down there to the studio and be a guest on the show last night. Well, he's in town. You might as well call him. Get one of them Raptors down there. And it was Freddie. So you go, Freddie. Good job. Let's see. Let's keep going with the chat. There's Mike. There's good. Salute Real Ones. Project Truth always. Respect. Open Gym was great. Oh, yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, Mike. Rico, Uncle Rico episode. Yeah. Yeah. It was called Open Gym Uncle Rico, LRF, Raptor. All right, Logical Raptor. You do acronyms. I got to remember. Rico Deep Dive was 1000% correct. All right, once again, he's tooting his own horn that he was right. Come on, man. I heard Pure like a million times in the episode. All right. Well, it was really good episode, Rico Hines episode. So much background on his history and where he's from, Greenville, which are really, really cool. Like, I did think he was a California dude, but he's not. He's an NC guy. And really fun to hear about the friendship between him and Earl Watson and Baron Davis and all the UCLA history with Steve Lavin and how he came about becoming a coach because he was hurt. Just a really good open gym episode. Makes you really understand the impact that Rico Hines is having on the team a little bit more concretely, as far as you hear Scotty and different players kind of talk about what's been happening with him around, that he's kind of like an uncle figure around the team that can really give insight and encouragement. And Scotty's put it as this way, is like he's really good at helping bring energy up for players. Maybe if they're in a low energy feel, they come into practice and Rico pumps them up and gets them feeling more energetic and getting going. And that's great. That's exactly the kind of coach we want. Like a kind of, it's not like a drill sergeant, but it's somebody who's on them and making them stay honest and doing the right things. And one of the things that kept echoing in that open gym episode from last night, the Uncle Rico, is that he kept saying that I just am this way. And this is why I am this way. It's like, I do these things this way. This is naturally who I am, that he just works his ass off. And that he expects that kind of good stuff around all the people around him. It rubs off on them. He is such a badass. And it was really cool to hear how positive a person he is. Because sometimes we hear him at Rico Hines cussing and yelling and doing all kinds of crazy things that the Rico Hines runs. And it's good to know that he is a seriously positive force. I had not realized that he broke into coaching through George Karl. Don Nelson. Sorry, it wasn't Don Nelson. He broke into coaching through Don Nelson, offering him that job when he was coaching Baron Davis. That he had just happened to be hanging around Baron Davis, and he's like, "Hey, you want to be on my coaching staff?" And he's like, "Yeah," and that's how he got his foot in the door. And the other thing is, much like Nick Nurse, he was hurt very young in his basketball career, so he had to make the switch to coaching when he was very young, in his early 20s. And this is the same story as Nick Nurse and Trevor Gleason. That both of those guys also had very serious injuries that took them out of their playing careers. So they pivoted to coaching careers. And in some ways, this is a very unspoken thing about our Raptors coaches, that even though our guys are in their 40s and 50s, Trevor Gleason's almost 60. Nick Nurse is in his mid 50s, and then you got Rico's actually younger than me. He is. I think he's like 46 or 45, which is crazy to me to think that Rico Hines is actually younger than I am, because you wouldn't think it if you looked at us next to each other. But these guys actually, for being so young, they have a huge amount of coaching experience because they started in their 20s. They all have like 20, 30 years of coaching experience all over the place. And that's kind of cool, because in some ways you got Rico Hines around, Nick Nurse, they're in the prime and they can coach for another 20, 30 years, these guys. And they're already in the middle of it. These are guys that will have like 50-year coaching careers. And that's cool. That's really cool. And that's great when they're young like that. Another part of that open gym that I really liked hearing about was very early on, when they were on UCLA playing together, Earl Watson and Rico Hines would have a lot of discussions about the game itself, the game of basketball. And they would all talk about the future and where it was going and what the trends were and how it was changing, and trying to stay ahead of them and kind of predicting them, and, being like on the cutting edge of basketball theory, basketball ideas, what you do on the court. And that's really cool in a way, because I see the Raptors organization as being cutting edge in the NBA as far as trying things with positionless basketball, Vision 6-9, and some of the scheming that he does on defense is very switching things up. The guy who's going to do box and one in the finals against the Golden State Warriors, that's a very innovative coach, cutting edge kind of coach. So now you just got more guys in the brain trust. Like Earl was already there, and he really is a part of the creativity and coaching on the Raptor staff. Well, Rico is a part of that also. And it's cool because they may have like decades of talking about basketball theory that is really in depth. And I mean, I'm not even talking about like the normal shit. These dudes are like really into every little detail about basketball and trying to see what the next future thing is about it. And I love that they're on our team, and I love that they're best friends, and I love that they get that kind of synergy being a set on our bench as coaches. That in some ways a synergy like what Christian Siakam, no Christian Coloco and Pascal Siakam have because they're from the same city. A set like Thad Young and Otto Porter Jr. because they played 2 years together in Chicago before in their career. There's sets on our team a little put together. Like Barnes and Banton in a way are a set because they came in as rookies together and they're very close. Watson and Hines are a nice pair and a set that we completed this set by bringing Rico in this year. So there's some good intangibles that come from that just because of the familiarity between Earl Watson and Rico Hines. It's like they could just give each other looks and know exactly what each other are thinking because they know each other so well. And in some ways, that kind of familiarity can really expedite and help you in different ways around the team because there's no confusion. So I love that episode about Rico Hines last night. He put it on his Instagram last night, and he should be very proud. It's a very flattering piece, and it's going to help him with his coaching career down the road. He's such a badass, and I love him. And I love that they all call him Unc, that he is Unc. He's like their uncle. And he can be come to and talk to about anything, life things and basketball things. And he will help them. Such a great comment. Thank you, Mike. Other than the tooting your own horn. But I'm glad you got confirmation about some things. It's true. There were some things about what he said that I was like, oh, okay, this does make sense. And this totally fleshes out kind of what we were thinking about what his role is on the team and what he's doing. In some ways, he's like Jim Sand. He shows up for practice when these guys want to shoot around. And he's basically in their ear. Like that whole clip with him standing behind Scotty when he's shooting threes, him just talking to him. Every little thing that Scotty does is maybe just a little bit off for his jump shot. Rico can point it out to him right then and say, okay, balance your feet. Go up square. He could be saying any of that kind of stuff in the moment by moment basis as Scotty's practicing to help him adjust that quickly. And you can see the wheels ticking in Scotty's mind as he's talking to him, bringing in all the information from Rico as he's working out. So this is all gravy and good stuff. And I love that open gym from last night. Really good stuff. We saw a little bit of the game stuff, like the Atlanta game on Halloween that we were just talking about. But they didn't show really any of the really difficult times that we've had recently, like the Oklahoma City game and the Indiana game. That'll be in the next episode. But yeah, there you go. Nameless is saying Raptors haven't been healthy in like a month. I can't believe Indiana is ahead of us. Well, they're good. They're playing well. Rick Carlisle's a good coach. Some of these young rookies, and Halliburton has really opened things up for them. In some ways, he's way better than Malcolm Brogdon, and he is helping them in all kinds of different ways that Brogdon just couldn't in Indiana. So yeah, I'm excited for the Pacers because they are not playing like they want Victor. And they're showing something. Miles Turner is like, are y'all trading me or not? Because I don't know what's going on. All right, let's see. Jimmy Pope saying, I'm honestly impressed with our record with the injuries we've been dealing with. Oh, yeah, for sure. That's why I don't want to discount this team. It's like I could say a team with Fred and OG and Scotty that they're just there. That's not a slouch team. Those three guys just being there with any of these other guys behind them makes us a good team that can win. Just having those three guys, because in some ways, those three guys are superstars. They're not totally budding, full bloom superstars that everybody will say, oh, those are superstars. But yeah, Fred is a superstar in a lot of ways. Why would they have him on NBA TV last night? Scotty's going to be a superstar down the road. We know this. And OG is playing like a superstar right now. We know OG looks like a superstar right now. So I feel real good about tonight. I don't want to jinx it like Raymond Jig was saying, but I think we have a good shot. And it really does have to do with that we play really well against Atlanta. It's a good matchup for us. We have some things that they just don't have a good time dealing with. And some of their strengths we delegate because of how we play our defense. that they can't do some of the stuff that they like to do against us very well. One of the things that Atlanta really does a lot is pass the ball around a lot to find the open shot. And this was part of the reason why they had such a hard time making open shots or finding the shots last time, is because our defense is such a pain in the ass that whenever they pass the ball, we may be deflecting it. We may be stealing it outright and taking it right down the other way. And this may be part of the reason why we got off on a running start against them on Halloween, is that they are going to try and pass it, and we are anti-pass. You try and pass the ball around the horn or trying to get it around to work to get that open three-pointer, well, good luck. You're going to get the ball turned over because our arms are so long and we're involved everywhere with our Eagles that we're going to jump in there. We're going to deflect it. Even if we get one finger in it, it may just change the direction of the ball all of a sudden, and boom, it's a turnover. We got it. So that's part of a strength in this matchup and why they do not match up well with us. And they should be like, we do not want to play the Raptors anywhere near the playoffs. Sure, we can look good with our record and kick some ass. We can beat Milwaukee this way. But when you play the Raptors, Hawks, you can't do your normal passing and ball movement that you need to do to work through your offense to get the best shot. While you're doing that, we are taking the ball from you. So that's part of our keys to the win, is really mess up their passing and get in the passing lane and take that fucking ball back the other way. And that's what I want to see tonight. A lot of that. Let's see. Isaac Campbell's saying crazy. Ja and Maxey are injured too, but I just came back from the future, and the Raptors' depth is a spoiler. We the champs. Flag is for your wall, but you will run out of space soon. 2023. Well, I'm thinking about putting it over my window as kind of like a shade and also maybe a little privacy. And maybe I'll be filming on that wall more with that covering the window. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out, Isaac, but thank you so much. And we had the idea to tape over 2023 on that flag. So maybe we'll do that, but I don't want to do that before it happens. I'll do it afterwards. But yeah, a lot of people are getting hurt right now, and that sucks. We don't want to see people getting hurt around the league. We want the league to have the best possible brand of basketball with the best players healthy out there playing all the time. And I don't like to see that Maxey or Ja got hurt. There was interesting stuff in that Philadelphia-Milwaukee game last night. I'm mad. I don't like that Philly won that game. I don't like how Joel Embiid hit Giannis last night. Listen, people are really coming after Joel now because of how dirty that hit was on Giannis. Of course, Giannis didn't even take it. He made the shot still, which is impressive on its own about him. But yeah, Joel, you are gross, man. You'll do a check like that, and then you'll do a fake flop afterwards. That's such a fucked up play. And it really speaks to how fucked up Joel Embiid is. And like, what the fuck, man? Like, I honestly don't like him in this league at this point. I think that he is a goon. I think he's bad for the league. And honestly, if he like something happened to him or something, some people are saying he needs to just fall on the floor a whole bunch of times, hurt himself, and then end his career because he's just so annoying with how ugly he plays basketball. He's so big. He has so many advantages. He does not have to play this way. He makes himself look bad. And that play with Giannis last night is the epitome of his stupidity and his just how ugly and stupid his game is. Yeah, you can do this 59-point game recently. That kind of stuff is great. But it's this other stuff that you do, Joel. It makes you unflattering and like look bad. And yeah, we don't like you. And I'm not just Raptors fans. I think most of the NBA doesn't like you. Only Philly fans like you at this point, Joel, because you just look like a big goon. And then after the game, very interesting incident with Giannis Antetokounmpo in a ladder. Yeah, he has a ritual where he likes to shoot 10 free throws after the game. Well, he's shooting the free throws after the game, and he makes like 7 of them. And then Montrezl Harrell comes out there and takes the ball from him and leaves with it. So Giannis is like, I still have 3 more free throws I have to shoot for my regular routine to leave. Well, he went to the back to try and get the ball back, and Montrezl says, no, you ain't getting it. We're closing down. This building is closed. The conversions staff has to come in and change the floor over to the Flyers floor because we're about to switch to a hockey game. And they got a times crunch. They're on the union. They can't be messing around with you. Well, Giannis gets a ball, finally comes back out there. Montrezl should have just gave it to him, let him finish. Then he gets back out there, and meanwhile, they're already starting to take down the basket. And they got the ladder coming out there. And Giannis is like, I want to shoot my free throws. And they move it. And he's like, moves the ladder over. So he goes back to shoot and then push the ladder back in front of the hoop. And then Giannis goes back over and he like, no, I want to shoot my free throws. He's really frustrated at this point because Montrez took the ball from him. And then the ladder kept coming back in front of the hoop. So he pushed the ladder. Now, he said he didn't mean to push it over. But you could tell he's real mad, and he said something to the facilities person, and he pushed the ladder over, and it looked real bad. And then he took the shots. Now everybody's calling him a prima donna. Everybody's kind of coming down on him, but I'm like, what the fuck? That's Giannis Antetokounmpo. Let him shoot his fucking free throws so he can go and leave. And then you guys can do your conversions. It's not like he wanted to sit out there and shoot his shot for like an hour after the game. He wanted to make 3 more free throws and then leave. So that is the truth about that whole story with Giannis and the ladder last night. I'm on Giannis's side. If he wants to do something, he's pissed, first of all, because he lost to Philadelphia. And he wants to do some things after the game. And this is just normal stuff. Well, Philly fucking being a little jerk with Montrezl Harrell coming out there and taking the ball from him and then their conversions crew. So I'm on Team Giannis on this one. He may look bad in the incident, but understand that's how it all went down. So just so you know the truth about what happened. Yeah. Monique's saying Rico Hines' life story on the newest open gym. Ron Jr. with another great game and a loss. Yeah. Thanks for bringing up the 905 game. Yeah, they played the Delaware Bluecoats last night. It wasn't a very good game. They got their ass beat in the first half. In fact, the Delaware Bluecoats scored 85 points in the first half of that game last night. They had 85 points at halftime. And that's disgusting. That is horrible defense. That is just bad playing all around. The fact that they let them score 85 points in a half is really, really bad. Now, they did kind of make it a little close near the end, but it was really kind of 10-point lead for most of near the end, and they kept busting it open. They couldn't get enough stops. They had a chance to come back and strike and get the win, but they couldn't get enough stops. They kept the lead at double digits. And you know who was killing us last night? Mr. McCaw. Patrick McCaw. He's on the Delaware Bluecoats, and he was playing huge for them on the other side. The other person that was beating us, too, was Justin Smith, the guy he was on our 905 last year. He's on their team this year. So, yeah, Ron was pretty good. Reggie's pretty good. I really like Gabe Brown. Gabe Brown is playing absolutely fantastic. Saban Lee, things here and there. Now, I was wondering if they were going to get Ron and send him to Atlanta from Delaware just because of how few guys we have today. It might make sense, honestly. If they're going to send Jeff Doughton all of a sudden on a red eye to get to Indiana to make the Indiana game last Saturday, why wouldn't they do that with Ron Harper also with just how many guys were missing? Because we got 10 guys available for tonight. That's good, especially Justin's available, and he's the 10th guy. That's good. But we could have 11. Ron gets sent over to Atlanta for tonight. That would be good because the 905 don't play again till Monday here against the Long Island Nets. So, yeah, I would like to see Ron Harper in Atlanta, and maybe he does get to play. But we'll see. Maybe they just send him with the 905, and it's not in the plans. So we'll have to see. Cool Cat saying, Coloco to go with Capella, Juancho IQ, Flynn knows his number is up, Thaddy will manage the youngins' emotion. Woohoo! Good refs tonight. Yeah, I feel real good about the refs tonight. But then again, I've said stuff like this in the past. We'll see. But yeah, all intents and purposes, it looks like that this is a good ref crew. So we'll have to see. Yeah, I like Coloco against Capella. Now, it could be something like, because Coloco hasn't been starting recently, they start Cam with that. That could be an interesting look also. But I don't know. Capella and Coloco is a good matchup. They have very similar body types, and they seem like he played pretty well against Clint on Halloween. So we'll have to see. Juancho, fantastic. He had an interview yesterday. I love seeing what Juancho's saying. And once again, this whole narrative about being a bench player on the Raptors is tough. You know, you got to wait around. You may get some DMPs. You may not get a lot of minutes in some games, but when things are needed and you come in, boom, all of a sudden you're playing like 20 to 30 minutes a game. And that's what's happening with Juancho. He's an ultimate pro. He's a professional. He is a professional, not you, tragic. Juancho Hernangomez is a professional, and he's acting professionally. because he knows he's got to be ready for whenever the call gets to him. And then when he's out there, he has to execute. Ah, man, he's talking about the rankings for Spain in the FIBA now. They're number one. They've actually got the number one ranking over the U.S. The first time in over a decade. The U.S. has not been ranked number one in FIBA basketball internationally. And Juancho Hernangomez is a big part of that. But what he said in the interview yesterday at practice is that it's not really his award or the team now's award. This is a legacy ranking for the guys like the Gasol brothers who were on the team that just retired from it recently. Fernandez, another one. And that is those are the guys that deserve the credit in some ways for them being number one at this point. Sure, they won Eurobasket, and that's a big part of why they're the number one team in FIBA rankings. But that's pretty cool. And Juancho was funny. He was talking about how he views the international scene, and he had a lot of good things to say about Canada and their basketball team, coached by Nick Nurse. He knows they're on their way up and that they're a real power. And he said also he realizes Spain's number one right now, but it probably won't be for long. That he realizes the U.S. is always kind of holding that spot just because of the amazing talent that has comes into basketball from the United States. But who knows? Maybe Canada is coming up there to get that number one. Now, we are kind of getting disrespected as a nation in FIBA rankings. We're still 15th. And honestly, we should be higher than that. In fact, you better get this right, FIBA, because we're coming. You need to put us in the top 10 very soon. I don't care about all these old established basketball countries, places like Brazil, Argentina, Slovenia, whatever. We are on our way up, and y'all better make room for Canada basketball on the FIBA rankings. We will not be 15th for long. We are on our way up. Get ready for it. But yeah, great interview with Juancho is awesome. Oh, that's the other thing that OG talked about. His interview yesterday. Juancho. He's talking about Juancho's movie, Hustle, on Netflix. And they were asking him, have you seen Hustle, OG? He said, no, I haven't seen Hustle yet. I really do want to see it. And I told Juancho I want to be in the sequel. OG said he wants to be in the next Hustle movie, like act in it, which I think would be awesome. I think that they should do this for sure. I don't know if there's any plan to make a sequel to Hustle, but, OG just wants to be in the next basketball movie. Now, when they asked him, have you seen the movie? He said, no, I haven't seen it because I can't remember my Netflix password. This is hilarious. OG, you just tell us so much about yourself when you say things like this. Because you're basically saying you don't watch any Netflix. Because that's what we infer. It's like, oh, you don't remember your Netflix password. Well, then you're not watching any Netflix because Hustle's been out for a long time. And then Michael Grange stepped up and he said, I'll give you my Netflix password, OG. And OG kind of smiled at that sentiment that Michael Grange is so nice that he let him watch Netflix on his account. So, yeah, we're a weird interview. But, yeah, he hasn't seen Hustle, but he should see it. And he doesn't use his Netflix, obviously, because he can't remember his password. So there's a little bit of more news about OG. That's what I had to remember from the other stuff. All right, Lolita is here. Good morning, Raptor Freak Lolita. Good morning, all Raptors freaks. Let's get a W tonight. Go Raptors. Yes, Lolita, go Raptors. And I feel good. I feel real good in the ATL tonight with the Raptors. We may have half the team not there, but I feel real good about us tonight still. Here we go. Joseph Starks coming in like a German here. Guten Morgen, you big strudel freaks. Yes. Yes. All right, Mike's saying, got the Banton versus Flynn finale. It goes deep. I hope everything understands my messing explaining of advanced basketball theories. It's my one and only 2-hour episode. 1.25 speed is key. Today, 2 p.m. All right, Mike's dropping some content later, y'all, so look out for it. All right, Cool Cat saying, Uncle Rico Open Gym was heartfelt episode. I love him. Fits like a glove. We need a session on Earl Watson. Yeah, I mean, I think we've had episodes on Earl Watson. Have we had an episode on Earl Watson? Maybe we haven't. Maybe he's been so low key. He's on the down low. They're not talking about him either. Listening to Earl in that open gym episode last night makes you understand when he's sitting next to Nick Nurse and they're talking to each other, like the things that he's saying to Nick Nurse, man, I would be so interested to just hear those guys and their discussions back and forth in the middle of the game. Like, what is Earl observing? And what is he feeding to Nick in his ear about what he's seeing on the court? That is just that. If I could be a fly on the wall, or just if they could mic those dudes up, and we can't let anybody else hear them, obviously, but if they could just let the Raptors Nation know what they're saying, oh my gosh, I guess there's no way of doing that. Now, one of the cool things OG said in his interview yesterday, because one of the things I noticed this week was OG fighting, coming, bringing up the ball because we have so few ball handlers right now. OG's been being more a ball handler, bringing it up court. And we noticed in that one game against Miami, or was it Miami? It was one of the two last games. Maybe it's Detroit. That when they pressure us with a full court press, OG, his way of dealing with it is going right into it, like aggressively and fast. And that a lot of this direction in him seeing this and understanding this is from Earl Watson. Earl Watson was a point guard in the NBA for many years, and this is something that he could do on the court. Well, he's taught, or he's telling OG how to read the court as far as when they pull full court press us, how to read it and beat it by being aggressive and then finding a lane to get to the basket. That we've seen OG do it this week, and that he very much gave credit to Earl Watson working with him for having that kind of court vision to know when to accelerate and be aggressive and go like into the full court press, like aggressively to beat it. And I love that. I love that. Of course, Earl Watson is helping the guys with their ball handling in court and in offensive transition, bringing the ball up the court, because that is what he was so good at himself when he was a player, is transition and being the point guard and how you read the floor. And that is a big part of what he coaches them on. Specifically, it's probably Scotty and Pascal and OG a lot, since they are kind of like point forwards. They have to look at the floor like a point guard. And Earl Watson doesn't just coach guys like Fred and Malachi. He coaches all our forwards also. And that's good, because in some ways, Earl Watson really is our point guard coach. He's a guy who had court vision as a player, and he is kind of the guy who helps them see opportunities on the court that maybe they don't see all the time. Maybe he opens their eyes up to potential in those ways. So, yeah, I really loved that open gym last night. It was a great one. Really, really good one, Cool Cat. I'm glad you enjoyed it, too. Monique saying Paul Jones in health and safety protocol today. Whoa, Paul Jones is on a COVID list. Whoa. Raptors today really did a great deep dive on Koloko and his growth. Cool. I'll have to check that out. I saw they had a clip that came out yesterday during the day, but I didn't watch it. I was kind of busy doing all kinds of my videos yesterday. But I did see that. I'll probably watch it tomorrow or maybe this afternoon. Who knows? Mike saying, Mo, double facts. I'm going to check the Konono stuff I'm touching on next week. Mike, every single one of your comments is about your channel, bro. You're doing it. You can get your points across, but don't always orient it to like coming on my channel. This is what's happening. This is what's happening. I told you, I'll give you like one or two of those. But all three of your comments have been about your channel and your content right now. I don't mind this, but you really are kind of abusing the rules here. Big facts, Lex. Rico and Earl talk on crazy advanced stuff like world-class elite IQ stuff. Yeah, see, the second part of yours is good. And I don't mind giving you a plug, bro, but I can't keep doing it over and over again. Check out Logical Raptors Fanatic. He has a lot of content coming. He knows what he's talking about. There you go. There's your plug. Jesus. Cool Cat saying Rico's going to unlock Scotty same way he unlocked Pascal. Same with Banton. OG's best career year under Rico and Watson. We're going to bring a meanness edge. Yeah, when they asked OG about Fred saying he'd like him to be meaner, he's like, did he really say that? They've never told me to be meaner. He said he's never asked me to be meaner. I mean, I'm not really mean. It's like he doesn't understand exactly, because I don't think he's a mean dude in any kind of way. But this is true. Like, it could be like what's happening with OG and his elevation to being more consistent at a superstar level could possibly have to do with Rico Hines all of a sudden there. And like that synergy between Earl and Rico in coaching with Nick towards OG, that maybe he is being propelled because, in some ways he's getting more confidence from people like Rico Hines. And they're telling him what you could do. Like, OG, you could do this because you're so strong and you're quick. You could do this to those guys all day and all night. So why don't you go do that? Oh, really, Earl? maybe I will try that. And then boom, all of a sudden, OG's getting to new levels as a player in the NBA because of encouragement and confidence from the coaching staff. And that's kind of what they were saying in the open gym last night. A lot of the players were saying they give us confidence, they build us up. And that's something that Nick really wants from his coaching staff. Is like, are they giving or taking from the energy? Well, if they're giving and giving and giving, boom, it helps propel and allow these guys to rise up. And that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, the meanness edge. OG and Pascal are meaner this year, and that is important. Here we go. Here's Randolph Phillips with our blessings to our beloved Raptor Freaks most informative gang. Thank you, Randolph Phillips. I'm believing for another great win. I believe in this too. I think the settings are right. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. We're going to have to fight for it, but we have a pride. And that's one of the great things. We may have a lot of guys missing, but these guys are good to step in, next man up mentality. And we do have a pretty good team tonight. Like if you look at the roster of the guys who are going to Atlanta tonight, this is not a slouch team. In fact, this team may be better than some NBA teams at full strength around the league. The talent and the personnel that we have in Atlanta tonight. So I'm really for it. Time to go on a run and establish a win streak. Yeah. So many different things that would be fruitful and awesome if we win tonight. We win the season series against Atlanta. We are on a 3-game win streak. We also launch from the 6th position in the Eastern Conference standings to the 3rd position. So we win Atlanta tonight. We are in number 3 behind Milwaukee and Boston in the standings in the Eastern Conference. So that's what I'm all about, man. Okay, Mike's saying, sorry about the heavy typos. Got a lot on my mind, not gonna lie. So I hope everybody understanding my messy explaining. Sorry, Lex, not like this. It's all good, man. Like I said, I want to put you on blast, but it's almost like it's a reoccurring commercial. It's kind of like when you're watching something and the same damn commercial comes up every commercial break. It's like, oh, they're gonna show this damn commercial about milk with this lady yelling all the time. It's like, I'm gonna mute it. I'm muting that milk commercial. What are you all drinking? We're drinking milk. Oh, why? Well, we're in an office and y'all have milk mustaches. Why are you drinking milk? All right, let's see. Andrew saying truth. Let's see. Monique is saying Fred's segment on NBA TV was great. The news on Pascal is so promising, everyone. Using the My Pascal slogan. So cool. Love it. I don't know about that. MVP Pascal. I see it. It's not a Y. It's MVP Pascal. I love that. That's a great hashtag. Yeah, Fred did a good job. Fred always representing us. He's no bullshit. He's like, listen, you're going to come at me with this kind of question, Brandon Hayward. I'm going to tell you how it is. That, yeah, y'all may not pay attention to us, but we're a serious contender. And we are in the mix in the Eastern Conference for being a dangerous team this year. And y'all may not want to pay attention to it. Y'all may be going, no, I don't want to see that the Raptors are good. But y'all will find out soon enough as we go. Nameless is saying that totally agreed with Embiid. Such a dirty player, so inconsiderate. He constantly puts other players in dangerous situations. Can't jeopardize people's livelihoods like that. They have a right to work too. Yeah, totally. That's a whole part of the aspect of it is like, listen, what's going to take some sort of stupid ass career ending tragedy because of his fucking physical floppy bullshit? Is that what's going to take? That at some point his stupid shit is going to end the man's career, and then everybody's going to realize just how dangerous and fucked up the way this guy's playing for the Sixers? I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take. It may take a tragedy, and I hate to say that, but I want them to rein him in, seriously, because this is fucked up. What he did to Giannis last night was a straight up hockey check, and he's not a little dude. He's a very big man. And like he can hurt people very much so. And he has. It's just that they're letting him do whatever the fuck he wants. And then he has the audacity to flop on the very same play to try and get a foul after very, very apparently nailing him like that. Like this. That's what I'm saying. This dude is bad. They need to suspend him for what he did to Giannis last night. Seriously. And I'm impartial. I'm Raptor freak. I don't like the Bucks. I don't like the Sixers. So I say, yeah, you need to suspend Joel Embiid for being very dirty towards Giannis last night. And that it's not cool. It is not cool. All right, let's see. More piling on Embiid. I like it. Embiid is a goon. He attacks Pascal. Now he attacks Giannis. Shows his character. He will never get MVP. His character is terrible. That is Cool Cat saying that. And I agree. Maybe this is part of the reason why Jokic has beaten him 2 years in a row. Maybe this is the reason why Giannis will probably win this year, or Luca. And Joel will never ever win an MVP. Because how can you make the biggest, ugliest, stupidest, like goonish, falling down, call timber because he's fallen and he may hurt one of his own teammates, players in the league like him? You cannot celebrate him as the most valuable player in the league because he has some really serious negatives about him. Sure, the positives in some ways are really impressive, but this dude, if he would just cut out this extracurricular bullshit, whether it's his own childish ego and the way he acts out on the court like a kid, or the just the dirty shit, I would respect him way more. But he is awful. He's despicable, and he's somebody that I just cannot have any respect for at this point. After I saw what he did to Giannis in the game last night, and I am not. Listen, I don't like Giannis. I don't like. I mean, in some ways I do, but in some ways I don't. Like I want the Bucks to do badly. But what Joel did last night is there's no excuse for it, and he really makes the NBA look bad. He really, really does. Monique saying, "I'm glad you're thinking what I'm thinking about Ron. Call up, yeah, yeah. Hopefully, Ron just goes from Delaware last night straight to Atlanta. He's stateside already, and they did a similar thing. Went Greensboro to Indiana for Jeff Doughton last Saturday. Maybe we'll see Ron there just for insurance, just for another extra body there. It may be that he doesn't play and they just make the man travel in the middle of the night for nothing. But the opportunity and the possibility is definitely there with such low numbers for us. Yeah. Okay, Mike, no problem, man. Listen, I am going to put you on blast every time. I'm going to say, like, ta-da, brothers, ta-da. Go, if you need help around your house, like carpet cleaning, windows, whatever, I'll do commercials for you guys. It's just, I don't want y'all to abuse it. That's all. All good. Respect, Project Truth. We love you, Mike. You're an awesome contributor to this channel. Don't get me twisted. I do really appreciate you being here. I just want, listen, we got a little bit of rules. That's all. Evelyn saying, good morning, Raptor Free crew, having breakfast while watching. Okay, cool, Evelyn. I hope that is such a good breakfast. Maybe you can save a little bit for Lauren Holtkamp, who loves breakfast herself. Breakfast. I wonder what you're having. Maybe you're having some eggs, some bacon. Maybe you're having some nice cereal. I don't know. I don't know what Evelyn's having for breakfast. That's why that answer does not tell us, Lauren. What's your favorite meal? Breakfast. Okay, is it just in general anything breakfast? Like if we took you to a breakfast buffet, you're piling up your plate with every single item that you can get at that buffet, Lauren Holtkamp? Because we just want specifics. I mean, when you guys say breakfast and dinner are your favorite meals, we don't know what to get y'all. And we want to know what to get y'all. That's part of the ref check now is the menu for the night. And we want to know what food you want. So be more specific when they ask you next time. And maybe in the profile, it'll say something like, oh, she likes omelets. Okay, you want an omelet. You want some moon over Miami or whatever that fucking shit is. Andrew saying, good work today. Peace out. All right, Andrew, have a good one. Catch the rest of my show later. Mike saying, don't read this. Oh, okay. All right, won't read this one. No. They can read your comments, though, man. I know you don't want to put it up there, but they're going to see it anyway. It's all good, man. You're fired up. All right, good. I'm glad you're enthusiastic about what you're doing. This is great. Get that passion driving you through this, man. Sometimes they say it's better to just do instead of tell. You're always telling me you're going to do this stuff. Well, let's just see you do it. And when you do it, then we can put it on blast and talk about it. That's what Rico would say. It's like, yeah, you can say you're going to do it, but are you going to do it? Just do it. And I know you'll do it. But in some ways, it's not about saying you're going to do it. It's just do it. Florida Flex is saying, this is slowly becoming my favorite Raptors channel. Awesome, Florida Flex. I appreciate that. Well, this is the interactive, and I do it a little bit different than the other people. Like, how would you know that Lauren Holtkamp is looking for some breakfast food, usually for dinner, unless you came here? Nobody's going to talk about that. Cool Cat saying, I love hearing Nick talking about Pascal's piano skills. Musical skills, a gift to managing stress. Yes, music is a big part of things. Like these dudes are really about dropping some good mixtapes in practice. Rico, Earl, Nick, it's Nick's music that they're playing that we heard earlier this season in practice. I heard some Earth, Wind, and Fire. I heard some old Stevie Wonder, some old Michael Jackson before like the '80s. I heard some, Fantastic Voyage. He's playing these old school hits in there on his mixtape for them to listen to, kind of getting that good, feel good groove. Some that music that gets you feeling like woo and like light and ready to go and stuff. But yeah, I didn't know Pascal plays the piano. But that's good, that they get more well formed and multi talented in all kinds of ways. Pascal, they're asking him about World Cup with Juancho and of course the other guys. And Juancho is really big on Team Spain, obviously for the World Cup this weekend. And then he is picking like I think he picked like Argentina if it's not going to be Spain, or maybe Portugal. But then they said, well, what do you think of Canada? He's like, I don't know any of the players on Canada. And then they named the player. And he's like, oh, he's good. And then he's like, okay, well, I hope Canada does well, but I don't know. They got to be realistic, honestly. Like, how often has Canada played in the World Cup? I don't even know if we ever have. So this is a really big deal that Canada is playing in the World Cup right now, just to be involved. Forget about trying to win it all. That'd be great if Canada won the World Cup in soccer, but it's not very likely. And just being there is an accomplishment in some ways, because we have had a hard time making the qualifiers just to get there. So that in some ways is very good. Adriana's here and she's making a lot of noise. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna probably have to keep going and finish up just so I can get on with my Saturday after this. Let's see. Kareem saying if OG drops 30 points tonight, I'm giving him my Netflix password. That's pretty funny. I mean, listen, I'm sure anybody would give him a Netflix password. I don't understand this, OG. You have brothers and sisters, you have teammates. You could just share a password with somebody. I mean, you're so close with Scott Wayne. Why wouldn't you just say, hey, Scotty, can I use your Netflix real quick? I want to watch Wancho's movie. And then Scotty would be like, you haven't watched the movie? You don't have a Netflix? What's going on with you, OG? Or like, why doesn't he, if he forgot his password, why doesn't he just get a whole new account? It's not like he can like, it would hurt him or anything. I mean, just cancel the old one. I don't know, OG. Like, do you have this account for Netflix that you've been paying for a few months now and that you just can't get into because you don't remember the password? Well, maybe you need to cut that account because you're not even using it. You're just spending the money for nothing. Well, he's a millionaire in the NBA. What does he care if like Netflix is billing him every month, even though he's not using it? I don't know. Kareem, you're a very nice man to want to allow OG to use your Netflix account. That's the kind of Raptor freak mentality. That's like what I was thinking when Scotty is saying, I wish I had somebody to take pictures of me. I can't pay them, but if they could just follow me around and take, oh, I'll do it, Scott. And he's like, wait a second, Raptor freak, how old are you? I was like, I'm 47. He's like, yeah, I don't think I'm comfortable as a 21-year-old man with a 47-year-old man following me around taking pictures of me. And I was like, oh yeah, when you say it that way, it doesn't sound too good. And I understand that now. But he's like, oh, you know what? You have your best intentions. We want to help them. We're Raptor freaks. And we want to help the team. So I'm sure there's a ton of people who would give their Netflix password to OG so he could watch Netflix. So all right, here's what Evelyn's having. Evelyn is having fried rice, sunny side up, eggs, and sausage and coffee. That sounds so yummy, Granny Evelyn. Man, you're making me hungry. I'm going to have to finish this stream up now because I got to go eat after such good eats and stuff. All right, let's do the real mascot matchup. Last time we saw the Raptor, he is back in that awful fake hospital room that is really a sauna, tied to the bed like Misery style, Kathy Bates style, and they want to kill him. He has been almost pretty much killed. Now, they actually brought him back to life after dying from getting struck by lightning, and they just want to torture him at this point. They're really awful, mean people. These are people that have hate in their heart because of somebody's different than them. And the Raptor is different because he's a raptor. He looks like a dinosaur, but he's a humanoid dinosaur. And he, in some ways, is a very all right, I live right next to an intersection that has a lot of stupid stuff going on in it sometimes. Anyway, he's in this bed and he wants to leave and get out of there. Obviously, they're torturing him with heat. They're turning up the sauna and messing with him. And well, one of the people that was there with him is the person that brought him back or was trying to bring him back, and he ran away from Harry. Yeah, this guy Harry. He was posing as like a reporter. and he wanted to know about this hospital and his incident that happened with him, but he was really with them and he's trying to bring them back. And then the Raptor ran away from him. Well, he's in the room with them and he's talking to the Raptor, and he's like, in some ways, I feel real bad for you, what we're doing to you, but you deserve it. You're gross. You're an abomination to this world. There shouldn't be anything like you on this earth. You are a devil. And like, whoa, he's like really starting to hear how much these people really hate him, and where the whole reasoning for why they're doing this to him is really gross and disgusting, just because he's different from them. And so he's like, Harry's like telling him, talking all this shit to him. And the Raptors kind of like, kind of getting pissed off. But he's also kind of like sees an opportunity because like Harry's talking to him. He's like, yeah, I'm just kind of helping the ladies here watch you. And I would like, I need to actually leave and do other stuff. But like, in some ways I feel real bad for you. And he's like, oh, he sees a little daylight with Harry. He's like, well, if you feel bad for me, maybe you should like help me get out of here. And like, he's trying to get that daylight and he's kind of trying to talk him into it. Well, Harry's kind of like, I don't know, they'd be really mad at me and all this kind of stuff. So what's going to happen? Is he going to be able to talk Harry into letting him free to get out of the place and escape again? Or will he be just like there still? We'll have to find out next time on the Real Mascot Matchup if Harry, the news hawk, will help him get out of that awful situation, that horrific situation that's going on with him, being held and tortured. Ooh, I know this Real Mascot Matchup is really dark this year. It's very gritty. It's a real world thing. It's not a fantastical anime fight scene anymore. It's just a dark place. There you go. We'll find out next time. Is that guy going to help him? Like, will he get him out of that bed and help him? All right, let's see. Tom Duke saying impression. Juancho and OG guessing nurse's Netflix password. I don't know if I could do Juancho because he does have a very specific accent, and I don't know if I could do it justice. But I can try and do OG like doing this. Okay, so let me think. Is it piano? Could be piano. I would think. No, wait. His password, right? You want his password? What was the question again? Nick Nurse's password? Yeah, piano. That's what I think. I think it's piano. Okay. I don't know. OG's like, I gotta do like a confused and a little bit like, yeah, that's kind of OG art. Shane Waters saying, key to the game tonight, keep the ball out of the basket. Yeah, keep their ball out of the basket. Don't let little Trae Young get ice cold and go crazy. Let him be ice cold for shooting. And DeJounte, let's not let him DJ this party. Let's shut him down. There's a noise complaint. You ain't DJing no party here tonight. We got a bunch of 6'9" cops here to shut down your little party here in Atlanta. You ain't gonna have no party in there tonight. Guys ain't gonna do nothing scoring wise because y'all are short. You're a little baby backcourt. And we're going to be starting Scott Wayne at one of the guard positions tonight. And he's going to bully one of y'all. He's going to put you on in the back, and he's going to bully you down in the basket. And that's what I really want to see. I want to see OG and Scotty bullying the hell out of them. I want to see Fred playing really at a high level, guiding things, doing great things, doing his best against Trae Young and DeJounte. But, it's great that we have Malachi and Jeff Doughton Jr., to hopefully maybe we see them in there for defensive purposes on these guards, just in case for different things. Now, John Collins, if we can nullify him also, that's really good because he can be a secondary scorer for them that can really help them. And that the more of the Hawks that we frustrate and make it hard for them to score, the better. Whether it's DeJounte, Trae, John Collins, DeAndre Hunter, any of those guys. And we don't want any of these Holiday brothers doing anything off the bench either, because they can be a little dangerous coming into the game. They're not Drew, but they are Holiday brothers, and they do have some aptitude and skills on the court. So we got to watch out for them too. And if I remember correctly from the first game against Atlanta, that guy Awosu, Okongwu, he played really well for them against us, and we need to watch out for him as a backup big. Is Okongwu. He actually was doing a couple good things for them in the first game. So just really good defensive effort, really mess them up, and don't let them score. We can give them some offensive droughts, similar to what we did to Miami in that third quarter in the last game. Well, we can win tonight. And I think the ref crew is very much favoring us. Even though we have half of our team there, we are badasses. This is the eyes on the prize. Let's get the third in the Eastern Conference. Let's win the series against Atlanta straight up because there's only 3 games. We won one already. We win the one tonight. We won the series. And then also, we just want to see more of our guys healthy over the days to come. And hopefully by Brooklyn, we'll have a lot of our guys back that we are missing tonight. So we'll have to see how it goes. Let's see. Monique's saying put Trae in foul trouble, less threes from Trae. Yeah, if he's in foul trouble, he can't be on the court. That's great. Whatever we can do to mess him up. They, like I said, they like to pass the ball, to move the ball around, to find the open shot. That is actually something that we can really mess up by deflecting the ball and just getting in the passing lanes and stealing the ball in different ways. So hopefully that's what we'll see a lot. That's a big key to the win for the Raptors. Tom Duke saying, haha, good job. No one would ever know what OG would say. I don't think OG would know what he would say in some cases also. All right, so just a real quick recap. We know who's not going to be with the Raptors tonight. Let's just go over the list real fast. Gary Trent is out because of his hip and also an illness. I think it's the shin also. Chris Boucher's out because of a non-COVID illness. I hope he wasn't just eating a whole bunch of Slim Jims and he got sick because of that. It probably is because Fred was sick and they got the same thing. Otto Porter is in a walking boot himself. His toe has been broken. He is out for now. Pascal is out for at least one more week. Delano, it did not practice, and he will miss the game. And Precious Achua is also out also. So none of those guys actually traveled to Atlanta. None of them. They're all still here, just taking care of things, which is good because the game is in Brooklyn, the next game. There's no reason for them to fly down there and come back. So we have a very small group, but it's a good group. And let's go over that again. Speculating the starting lineup tonight to be Fred and Scotty at guard, OG and Thad at forward, and then Koloko starting at center. That may not be exactly who it is. It could be that we see Kem instead of Koloko, or maybe we see Juancho in the starting lineup tonight. That could be interesting. And then off the bench, Jeff Doughton Jr., Malachi Flynn, Juancho Hernangomez, Justin Champagny, and Kem Birch. That is basically who our team is going to be tonight. So hopefully we'll do good. All right, and then the referees, really good ref crew for us tonight with Ben Taylor, Sean Corbin, and Lauren Holtkamp. I really like all three of those refs. They're very friendly to us in the past, so we should be in good shape. All right, everybody, have a great Saturday afternoon. Get outside, touch some grass, hang out with your friends, watch some Netflix maybe. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Have some breakfast like Evelyn and Lauren Holtkamp. Whatever you feel like doing, it's a Saturday, and it's sunny in Toronto, even though there's snow on the ground. All right, let's beat Atlanta tonight, Raptors. And please like, comment, subscribe, and share if you can. And let's go Raptors.